I get to this convention, nothing's going on. I'm bummed out. I want to make money. I'm supposed to suspend that night. And so that was a thing I did regularly when I did, the Villain Arts shows. I looked forward to it a lot. And so did the suspension crew a lot of the time, because my suspensions were wild. I'm a big dude and I do some wild shit up there.
Damn.
So, and it's me expelling my demons, and how powerful that is. And I would do a motivational speech beforehand. So like there was a lot of power in these presentations. That I didn't realize. Because I was living in lack. So my buddy Steve is running around, Robbie, come to the ball game, come to the ball game, come to the ball game. This fool must ask me at least 50 times that day. And I am not exaggerating. No one has ever been this insistent to go to a fucking sporting event with them. Ever. And I refused to go.
Why?
I was there to make money.
Okay.
Can't dick around.
Yeah.
Go to the sporting event.
You're already in lack. So it's
right.
Like, I'm already lacking money. So I need to fucking figure.
I need this.
Right.
If I go to the ball game, I'm probably gonna fucking have drinks and have fun and not care about shit. And I can't do that. I gotta make money. I just spent all my money on that RV.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, we can all relate to that. So then what?
So then, Steve finally breaks me. I'm like, all right, I'll go to the fucking ball game.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I'm like, let me go find other Steve because he's about to put me up tonight.
Okay.
And I can't back out of his show without telling him.
Yeah.
So I go to tell other Steve. So now I run into Jeremy, who is now one of my apprentices, oddly enough. But he's been a good friend the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, oh, I'm about to tell Steve I'm out of here. I'm going to go to this ball game with other Steve. And he's like, yeah, but why don't you tattoo me? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm going to go to the ball game, man. He's like, I got money. We didn't agree on how much money he had.
I'll see it.
He said, I got money.
That's all you need to know in lack.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I needed to know in lack.
No matter what you call me, just call me something.
That's it. And he was my homie. So I knew I didn't care about the money with him.
You just needed some of it.
Yeah. And I didn't even necessarily want his money.
Yeah.
But I needed some because I was so fucking desperate.
Right.
So we go and we tattoo. And I'm not mad at the dude for what he paid me at all.
Right.
Because we didn't agree on anything.
That's right. Right. And you didn't know TBM then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't know. That's how it is.
Dude, that's how, I was just like, oh, man, you take what you can get right now, Playboy.
Right. That's it.
If you ain't got it lined up because you're a loser because people didn't want to book with you beforehand, then you're a fucking loser. So get your fucking pussy loser ass out there and make that $200, you fucking bum.
That's right. And that's the way we talk to ourselves, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
That's the way we can start talking to ourselves.
And
that's the way.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
So, and remember, I got this rolling house that I don't realize is saving me so much money because I don't have really bills anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, gas. Yeah. Gas is expensive. So I'm stressed about gas.
Right.
So I found something to lack.
Sure.
Always found something to lack.
Sure.
So, I go do this tattoo. He throws me $200. So now let me fast forward shortly because this is one of my favorite and least favorite statements. I fucking lost my leg for $200.
Wow.
I gave away my power that hard. That it wasn't because I stayed behind to tattoo the homie, which is what it fucking should have been.
Yeah. Come on.
I stayed behind because the homie said, I got money.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to manipulate me. He wasn't trying to be dirty. He wasn't trying to underpay me.
Right. Yeah, because he's going to be listening to this.
Right. And we joke about this, but this is the real about it. I gave away my leg for $200. I was living in so much fucking lack that $200 was worth fucking losing my body part.
And for those who are listening who can't make the connection, what do you mean you lost your leg?
So that was the other Steve I was going to meet up and tell him I'm not going to do your performance tonight.
Yeah.
So I do human body suspension. I get hooks put through my body and it picks me up off the ground. I'm really good at it because what I do, you see how easy I get vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So I go up there and I bare my fucking soul. And it comes out in this like beautiful, aggressive, scary way that you want to be next to, but you're afraid of. Mm-hmm. And that was my power. That was my power up there. Mm. So I found suspension way earlier in life, but like I really developed this thing. So then I would go and I would do these motivational speeches, sometimes with the hooks already in my back. One time I actually got to have them throw hooks while I was speaking in the microphone. Mm-hmm. That was cool as fuck. Mm. Man. So I would do my motivational speech. I would strip down to my underwear and I would run into my suspension and I would come off the ground and I would go fucking nuts. And the feeling I would get was like the feeling you get when you win a fight. You know, like, and you knew like that guy was like had stole that girl's purse, or like you were a vigilante for justice. There was no wrong in the fight. You just won. You might be a little sore afterwards, but God, you won that fight and you avenged that person and all these things. And you feel this catharsis, and every suspension for me was a hugely cathartic experience. So like, that's what I got to share with the world. And I got to show them my medicine when I was doing this. So I also am egoic and I love a good performance. So when they told me that I performed well up there, I started doing the things that would make them go ooh and ah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'd pull my ass out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I would grab the fucking rig and climb up it and drop down.
Damn.
Sometimes I'd get to the top of the rig, do a fucking pull up and then drop down. Mm. And now the little bit behind that, I couldn't do pull-ups at all in my life until I found fitness. Mm. So like to do that pull-up was a huge like, hey, I'm proud of myself for doing this. So like I would find ways to really like accelerate my goodness and worth of self in these performances. Okay. So one of the things was to shock load, which is grab onto something, take the tension off, and drop. And so I run into these suspensions. I see you giggling because, yeah, it's fun, dude. Like, and people are like, ah! They lose their shit because they think you're gonna fall. And you know, it's like the coolest trick ever. You know, I'm fucking, 250 on a light day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like 280, 300 sometimes or more. Yeah. So I would do these tricks, and these people were fucking losing it. So I run into the suspensions because for effect, and I just love it. I think it's fun. Yeah. It's like a toy you get to play with, So I run into it and I swing back, and I'm really close to one of the 4 posts. So I grab the post and I start to climb up, and I'm like, man, that's a long climb. Let me drop down right quick. I'll come back to it. I'll do another shock load later, but like, I'm gonna just drop down. So I let go. And I was up here, and like my feet was maybe 6-8 feet off the ground. It wasn't super high. And I let go, and boom. Mm-hmm. And while I'm in the air, I hear my legs snap. And I remember thinking, oh, this is what Big Jimmy must have felt, who's a buddy of mine, who was doing like a super crazy experimental suspension from a crane. And like, he's 10,000 times crazier than I am. So I would think I would never fall because I'm not doing experimental stuff. I'm doing stuff I've already done. Yeah. So I'm like, man, that's what he must have felt in those that split second. Yeah. But like I remember having the thought, oh, that's what Big Jimmy must have felt after I fell. Man. Because like it was so fast.
Yeah, right.
And you're sitting there and you're like, how the fuck what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then I start to cry.
Yeah.
Because you like keep in mind, my leg had broken the fuck off. Like
you can see video. There's video of this on YouTube.
There is a video.
Right?
It's on my Rad Movement video YouTube channel. So if you go to the Rad Movement on YouTube, it's
not
one of the
not
first
for the faint of
videos.
heart, for sure.
Not for the faint of heart. Yeah.
No.
Ink Mag also did a video on like the progression of my story as well. That one's just more about if you want to have a good cry, watch that one.
So you didn't just break your leg.
I broke my leg off.
Yeah.
Like the only thing keeping it on was the skin. And so I remember laying there and crying, saying, how am I going to afford this? I love all my Canadians. I love all my folks from places with good health care, because they're like, why do they have to deal with this in America? So, you know, woot woot, y'all give me love. I appreciate that. So yeah, like I was laying there. I'm like, how can I afford this? I'm living in fucking lack, man. How can I afford this?
No shit.
It's so interesting to me that that's your first thought is, how can I afford this?
How am I?
Yeah. That speaks volumes, you know?
Yeah. And so that's how lackey I was. That's how much I was living in lack. So how can I afford this? And that's why I say I lost my leg for $200.
Yeah.
Because I was so ingrained in the I can't make money that I didn't even realize I was already at the upper echelon of pay in my tattoo scale. Mm-hmm. Like I was already like learning how to grow my business, and I was already doing a great job. But I judged a convention by a Friday, which is something you never do. Yeah. And I thought I was going to not make enough money, and I just had to grab onto something instead of going having fun with my homie and my chick. So I convinced Donna to go to the ball game. So Donna's not even there. So
she has no idea that this is happening. Okay.
Dude, Donna's drunk at a fucking ball game having fun. And so they get there, the ambulance gets there. I'm like trying to find the good in it. So I'm like, oh, you look like my son. You know, and he really did. So, you know, they're like, how on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain like? And I'm like, 4. Wow. You know, like,
bone sticking out of my leg. Bad. How's that sound?
It was weird. There was less pain and there was literally close to no blood. The only thing I wanted was to be able to put my right heel on the ground. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to feel the ground. I guess it could, if you want to speak energetically, I was probably dying to be more grounded at that point. You know. But I really wanted to feel that ankle against the ground, which I can now feel, or the heel. I'm literally, as we speak, that heel is like radiating because it knows I'm talking about it.
Come on.
And it's like, hey buddy, I'm here. You can feel me. And it's weird shit like that'll set me off.
Yeah.
Like, why am I crying about feeling my heel on the ground?
Yeah, right.
Because it's not there. Yeah. And I can feel it. And it, like, there's something so beautiful and like just having that sensation when all I wanted in that moment was just to feel my heel on the ground.
Yeah. Wow.
So they bring me to the hospital. And it was cool. I left the convention. Everybody stops tattooing. It's like a fucking movie. Like the slow clap happens. Everybody's fucking cheering. I'm on a fucking gurney and I'm like, yay! And I got tears in my eyes and throwing my hands in the air, and Affliction's outside and he's doing a live and I'm sexually harassing him, grabbing his dick, fucking. And then they put me in the fucking ambulance, and the whole experience of all this is like, I've never been here before. I've hurt myself, but I've never been here before. So this is weird. Yeah. And it's weird that being here before, even though I've never been here before, it feels like it's nothing different. Sitting in an ambulance or sitting in a hospital bed for 40 days straight is nothing different than the pain of fucking having so much lack that you're willing to give your leg away for $200. You're not even willing to fucking make an agreement. You're just allowing whatever to happen because you just don't even know that there's so much more for you out there.
My God.
So, you know, we get to the hospital. They got to like fucking reattach my foot because the blood isn't pumping there and this and that. And that's when the pain happened. So then this is the first time I've experienced excruciating pain that I had to go inside to deal with. So he just kept wrenching my shit around until it fucking connected up again. And I'm screaming and I'm screaming. And I remember screaming so much and like saying, Doc, please stop, help, please God, and screaming so hard. And then I realized, bro, ain't nobody coming for you. Just shut up. And so I was just trying to break this nurse's hand, literally. She told me I could. She gave me her hand. I'm like, baby, I might hurt you. She's like, that's cool. Do it. I says, I might even break this motherfucker. She said, that's fine. So like they all knew what I was about to go to. I had no idea. So that happens. I look up at the doctor. I'm like, congrats, doc. That's the first person to hurt me today. And I think it's a joke, right? Because I'm in this dark place. And he's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I didn't want to break your heart. It was a joke. So, then he became part of my team, and I loved that team. And I was having a bad day. So fast forward now, 40 days in the hospital, right? And so Troy, the guy that throws the Villain Arts shows, calls me the next day and says, you have to sue me. So now I'm crying. So the money problem, how am I going to afford this? Well, there's going to be a lawsuit.
And Troy's your homeboy.
He's my homeboy.
He's the promoter of the event. He calls him, is like, yo, I want you to sue me.
And he brings up a wad of cash.
And you're like, yeah, and he brings up a wad of cash.
Yeah, he brings up a wad of cash.
And you're like, dude, you're my homie. I don't want to sue you.
And I'm like, I don't want to take your money, but like, I kind of am stuck.
Yeah, he said, you're going to need it.
And
right?
Yeah.
And he say like, that's what insurance is for.
Exactly.
Robbie, come on with it. We'll be fine.
You're not suing me. You're
it.
Suing insurance.
That's it. What a brother, though.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know?
We ended up sipping wine at his house in Florida a couple times and his house in Puerto Rico after the fact.
Okay.
And I asked him like, how, man? And he's like, bro, I seen a dude with no insurance. You needed some help.
Yeah.
And I knew you weren't trying to scam nobody.
That's it. Yeah.
I was like, dude,
see, I already respected Troy, but when you told me that, my respect level.
Huge.
Absolutely.
Huge. So,
So
I'm 40. What's up?
I'm sorry. Did the hooks rip from your flesh, or did the rig?
The rope broke.
The rope broke. Okay.
The rope broke.